You're now listening to the Something Good Podcast Network. Please press any key to continue.
All right, everybody, welcome to this week's edition of the Couch Potatoes. I'm Alex.
This is Cap
Morrison.
And we are getting back into the swing of doing our retrospectives, our season-by-season breakdowns. We had to take a little break from killing ourselves with King of the Hill. We need to look in the future next time we decide to do retrospectives and make sure that we're not picking seasons that have like 25 fucking episodes in them.
Hey, it got us through quarantine, though.
Hey, it got us through quarantine. I'm very appreciative on that. And
Got us through quarantine, the Bush years, the Obama years.
Yeah, it got me through some hard times.
The ever-ending war in Iraq and Afghanistan.
But we can always appreciate King of the Hill for always giving us laughs as soon as we need it.
But if King of the Hill got me through high school and other times in my life where things were kind of, big, Always Sunny got me through like my college years, my early 20s, and it was
I never caught on to it when it came on. I waited till like season 10.
Really, season 10.
And like my buddies would tell me, man, you got to watch this fucked up show. It's about these pieces of shit. I'm like, Shameless? I'm like, no.
By the way, we're talking about Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Yeah, if you've not read the title by now, what are you doing? You're just blindly clicking episodes.
Right.
I mean, shit.
Please blindly click away, friend. You're paying for it.
But no, actually, one of the reasons I'm really looking forward to doing this one. Looking at the season breakdown, we got 14 seasons we can go down so far. But the season with the most episodes is season 6, and that has 14.
Yeah.
Actually, no, 15 is season 3. Sorry, that one snuck up on me. Yeah, so 15 in season 3. That's the most episodes we have to deal with in a single season.
And season 3 is great, too, so that's going to rule.
I think it now holds the record.
Of what?
Longest running live action comedy show.
Interesting. You look
14
that up.
seasons.
Oh, right here it says, Well, we'll have to...
Comedy sitcom, yeah.
This is difficult. We have to take the date with a grain of salt, maybe. It says, on April 1st, 2016, the series was renewed for a 13th and 14th season, which matched the adventures of Ozzie and Harriet with the most seasons for a live-action sitcom in American television history. Which is what makes me sit here and go, I'm like, but it was announced on April 1st. Yeah, who knows?
Yeah.
I thought Chris was going to say something, and he just looked at me and shrugged.
Seasons for all I fucking know.
Oh, yeah, no, I wouldn't be surprised if they would.
I wouldn't be surprised if they kill a character. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, it says on April 9th, 2020, they announced that writing had begun for season 15, and in May 2021, that filming had begun for it. So, yeah, we are getting to season 15.
Yeah.
Right on.
Hell yeah.
And like we were talking earlier, the cast really isn't, full Hollywood by any means. I mean,
Especially during this first season. Well, so real quick, Chris, you said you got into it, what, season 10?
When season 10 came out, that's when I started watching it. I started
it.
going back to like the old stuff because I would see ads for it between like Justified and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, what the fuck is this show? Like, and then I would like see all the memes and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And the memes are hilarious anyway.
Yeah, that kind of came up. That show came out right as meme culture was starting to blow up and everything too. And
When did you catch on to it, Cap?
see, the first episode I watched was when they were getting Mac's dad out of jail and then putting him back in jail.
Yeah.
It was that two-parter.
Yeah.
And I was just watching it with a friend of mine in my freshman year of college, and he was just like, "Have you seen Always Sunny?" I was like, "I have not." And he goes, "Oh, you got to watch it. It's so fucking hilarious."
Oh, so you caught like a new episode when it came on kind of thing?
Exactly.
Nice.
And the second parter of the two-parter was like the first one I watched. Well, I watched them back to back because it was like a whole thing on FX too.
The first episode I ever saw was the one with the jihad.
That's such a great episode too.
And for me, I have the weirdest connection with this show. I had heard about it. I had kind of I think I had like flipped through FX, landed on it one time, and just kind of went and just kept moving forward. The first time I saw a full episode, I remember the episode. It was the one with the weird brothers and the fucking robes that drink milk.
Yeah.
Them when they take the gang hostage at the bar.
God,
so that was the first episode I watched.
Is that the one where their sister shows up?
I was about to ask.
It is. Yes, the sister shows up and tries getting with like Mac or Dennis. I forget
with the
which.
dead tooth.
Yes. So I watched that in a squat house in Philadelphia.
Oh my God. So you're just watching that and your friends going like, I am in this TV show right now.
Oh yeah, it was Charlie's house.
Oh my God.
It was Charlie's house. No, so just the tiny backstory on that. That was when I was on tour with that punk rock band Angry Youth when I lived in Virginia. And yeah, we took like a day. It took us a day to get all the way up to Jersey. We played a show there. And then as soon as we played the show, we drove into Philly and we stayed at like the squad house for like 3 nights in a row. And like it was like the most roach infested fucking hole in the wall shit. It was like in the middle of it almost kind of reminded you of like Dirty New York kind of thing because it was downtown apartment type shit that Charlotte does not have. We don't have this kind of shit, but it was like the downtown loft apartment style stuff, and it was like all those doors kind of lined up, and we just happened to have that single door, and that door was really fucking crusty looking, and it was like, yep, that's the one.
Did anybody walk out with a toe knife?
Oh, I'm sure.
I gotta clip my nails.
Yeah, so I have a weird connection with coming into learning about Always Sunny with watching it in a squad house in Philadelphia.
My brother said he had a friend of his that lived in Philadelphia saying that this isn't a comedy show, this is a documentary.
And that's what was really weird about it too. Is like, so we're watching the show, and then like, I forget, I think like that day we had a show in Philly, so it's like we had all day to hang out. And I remember we were riding in the van, and it's like we were hitting like certain spots that like the intro was showing, and like they're geeking out about it because they were like fans of the show already. The guys in the band were already, so it's like they were geeking out seeing the spots, and I'm just like, this is really weird. I just saw this on the TV. Now I'm seeing it in person. This is weird.
Well, it's kind of like Seinfeld, where New York City was kind of a character on that show.
Yeah.
And that the characters on that show are not likable characters at all.
I would say the same on this. Which
exactly.
Okay. How would you define a likable character?
Okay. When I may, I'll see if I can find a more defined version of what I'm trying to get at. It's like they're great characters, but they're not great morally or anything like that.
Okay, yeah, no, they're very morally skewed, because that's the problem though. Is like even the bad characters can sometimes be favorite characters.
Exactly. It's kind of like Loki. We can get to a whole thing on Loki, but
we will.
Yeah, but he's one of my favorite characters in the Marvel series because he's complicated. You know.
He's a complicated little boy.
Yeah.
He's a complicated little frozen runt.
But that's what makes those kind of characters interesting.
Exactly. Well, without much more preamble, let's go ahead and kick on into the seasons. Episode 1, they're kicking it straight out the gate. No holds barred. The gang gets racist.
Because everyone in Philly is apparently racist, I guess. No,
first of all, the city of
just
brotherly
kidding.
love doesn't like any goddamn body.
Yeah.
That's a fact. They threw some rocks at Santa Claus.
Shit.
Yeah.
And tried to kill Tom Hanks because he had AIDS.
No, but this season 1 does not have Danny DeVito at all, and it looks like from the film quality of this first season that it was pretty much on a budget.
Now, I remember when the announcement came about this show, I had heard that it had won a contest.
That's what I've heard too.
Yep.
And was it this episode or was it a
probably an unaired pilot?
Probably, but no, yeah, kicking things right off with a hardcore title like that, and it's all about Charlie. It's kind of about Charlie trying to impress a waitress.
Yeah,
The waitress.
The waitress.
And I will say, after watching the first episode, I haven't recognized so many people.
Right.
And they're really big now. Like the black guy that they think that they assume he's related to everybody.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's in Marvel. In Marvel Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And he's also in a couple horror movies I really like. But he's hilarious in this episode because he makes me feel uncomfortable for what's his name, Charlie.
Yes.
And Charlie, Mac, and D, and all of them make this weird connotation about him. They're like, oh my God, he's a thief. No, he's gay as fuck.
Yeah. No, but on this episode, like the whole point is like everybody has like an angle where they're trying to prove to everybody that they're not racist at all.
And I love the fact that the B plot of this too is that Patty's turns accidentally into a gay bar.
Yeah,
that's also the B plot of this episode.
Immediately, like just attacking all angles.
Yes, episode 1 is like gay bar and racism. It's like, Jesus, this is what the show is going to end up being.
And we already set a tone for Dennis Reynolds, the most fucking self-absorbed character on television.
He's a serial killer.
Yeah, exactly.
and that was going to be my point earlier, is like, one of my favorite characters is Dennis in this show. It's like, of course everyone loves Charlie, that's a given. That's kind of like everyone loves Boomhauer, but it's like I really like Dennis because, kind of like what Cap was saying, he is just like a horrible character.
He's Ted Bundy.
But he's got some interesting layers to him.
He's fucking Ted Bundy.
He's got the interesting layers to him because it's not
Charlie's the Green River Killer.
Sorry.
Exactly. You were saying like he's Ted Bundy. That makes a perfect analogy because Bundy had reasoning for what he did in his mind.
Yeah.
In his mind, everything made sense. Like what's wrong with you guys for not understanding my plan? You're just a bunch of idiots. And that's what I like about his character is what Cap's saying. There are some layers to this guy that's like, there's a lot of fucked up shit going on with you.
It's like he's so vain that the only reason he's keeping Patty's Pub as a gay bar because, kind of just a quick way to summarize the episode to get to this point.
Yeah.
Patty's was not making any money. They're just a fucking broke ass group of guys that decided to open a bar and they're
really
not making any money.
Setting up the tone for basically every issue they wind up going into.
Yeah, it's all the bar is kind of a character in itself too.
It really
Patty's
is.
Well, it's like Cheers.
Exactly. It's kind of like it's also a lot of Cheers in this show too.
Yeah, and if you think about it, there's not a lot of shows like that.
Not since Cheers.
Not since Cheers. There was never been a show centered around a business.
Or just like one location.
At least a live action show. We had Bob's Burgers.
Yeah, but I'm talking about live action, but but still Bob's Burgers came out after.
You're right.
But Cheers was everyone knows your name. Bars were still relevant then. By this time this show came out, bars lost some popularity. Mm-hmm. It's cheaper to drink at home, have social gatherings at home. And then
it started trending toward the high upscale bars, the dive bars that the three of us would always enjoy attending were the ones slowly dying out, like Patty's.
Yeah,
exactly. And all of a sudden they get D's
nuts.
Sweet D.
Sweet D burns the bar down.
Yeah, Sweet D is chasing somebody in her acting class who she thinks is into girls, but he's not. Turns out he's a gay guy, and he starts bringing all his friends in.
Yep.
And then they start bringing all their friends in.
Mac and Dennis.
They're all hitting on Mac and Dennis, and they all it becomes a gay bar. And Mac's totally not cool with it because his character's fucked up like that.
Yeah.
And Charlie just wants this black girl and is doing everything to prove that he is not racist.
Yeah. Right. Well, he ends up with one. It's that weird suaveness of Bobby Hill he has.
Yeah.
He just automatically attracts women, unlike Mac, who repulses fucking women.
Yeah. Mac and Dennis try so hard.
Charlie and Mac smashed together is Dennis. All their good traits smashed together is Dennis, who becomes evil.
And then Dennis is loving the attention that he's getting.
Oh, he's a narcissist. He loves it.
It's that narcissist thing that it's keeping him from not closing down
wearing
a
tight
gay
black
bar.
shirts.
Yep.
Call him honey and strutting. Doing some cocktail type shit.
Oh yeah.
Gay.
And then D is just like
Sweet D.
His sister has a plot to get him so hammered that's to expect something bad to happen to him.
And that's a great jumping off point of this entire show.
How horrible these people are.
All these people are horrible to each other, even though they are basically brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
That they are a family. Mm-hmm. You can say Mac and Charlie, they're not brothers and sisters. No, they're brothers and sisters to the bone. Because all their lives are hinged on one thing, all of them being successful and all of them trying to murder each other. Yes. It's like a fucked up game of Clue.
And who done it? It was Charlie in the pub with the foot knife or the toe knife.
It was Dennis with the rum ham.
That would be oh my god, that would be so awesome.
Oh, that would actually be a really
trademark. Always Sunny clues. Always Sunny clues.
All right, it's on audio recording. If it ever does happen after this, we can claim that somehow, some way they heard it and we get it cut.
Someone just give you a call and be like, that's the way business is.
Yep. That's show business, kid.
But they also set up the dynamic between Charlie and the waitress. And she
becomes famous because of the show.
Exactly, and they're married in real life, but on the show, it's a whole back and forth of Charlie trying everything he can do to hook up with the waitress, but the waitress is having none of it. Just turns him down every time. And that continues throughout the whole series.
And the one thing I think about, coming from like a producer angle, I think that's what causes for their great awkward chemistry.
Yeah.
Is for the fact they are married, they are in love, they are together, so they can easily play off that get the fuck away from me, because she probably is pulling from a little bit of real life when he has really getting all over her fucking nerves, or vice versa, because not no relationship is perfect 100% of the time. So as all of a sudden all the connection they have, she's able to pull from even a better place to even be like oh god, this creepy guy in the show. So I think them being together just actually helped create that really good dynamic.
And it's another Seinfeld thing where you don't find out her real name unless they utter out loud for like a plot point or something like that. And I can't remember if they do that or not, but she's always referred to as the waitress.
Yeah.
It's like when Seinfeld, it was always, the suit Nazi or like the yada yada and things like that.
The whole episode's about the yada yada.
Exactly.
She only has like one name, it's Ellis.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I think that exactly what Cap said. I think that may have been like a random plot point. Like in the middle of them yelling, he like yells out her name and they're like, who is that? She's like, the waitress. And then it's like, that wasn't not being anything else again. They're like, well, don't call her that. Call her the waitress. Like they even got upset of like that. Who knows?
And there's a lot of that a lot of those on this show. There's the I'm trying to think of like the few things in my head. Well, honestly, the first thing that comes into my head is the tranny, which it was 2005 or whatever. So that was just a thing on TV.
By, what's her name from Joe Dirt?
Yeah, Brandy.
Tokyo Rose, the trailer park.
Yep.
Well, did anything else happen of note in The Gang Gets Racist?
Well, Charlie Day is really good with black women.
Yeah.
And then while trying to prove he's not black, or trying not to prove he's not racist, he ends up sounding racist as fuck.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's like everybody on this episode.
You are. Oh, so you are all related.
And I will say, I think he could whoop Mac's ass.
Sister, like, yeah.
So remember they fight there for a little while?
Yeah.
He's trying to get that paper from Charlie, and Charlie's just like batting him the fuck away. And I'm just like, pop, and just giving him like these short little pops, and I'm just like, oh shit, Charlie could really fuck him up if he wanted to.
Now that we're talking about all of this out loud, what a great first episode in setting the tone for everybody, including one of the B characters.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
She's in another show, Santa Clarita Diet. Have you watched that?
I haven't yet.
It's fucking hilarious. She's in it.
I saw the ads for it.
The waitress is in it, and she has an awakening in the show that she's a lesbian. It's fucking hilarious because it's a decline and shit. Like, it's a good zombie show.
Okay. Oh, it's a zombie show. Okay.
But it's a good take on it.
Right on.
So, you would assume with, episode 1 kicking right out of the gate with, a racist plot line and a gay bar plot line, maybe they'd kind of tone it down for episode 2. Nah, fuck it. Episode 2, Charlie wants an abortion.
Yeah.
Oh, what a great segue.
I know, right? It's like, fuck.
It's like they wanted to knock off they knew there were probably going to be one season, so they were going to just bat out 1,000, just
it's
home runs.
all like, if we wanted to get all, analytical about it and wisecrack with this, there's 7 episodes. I wonder if it's the 7 deadly sins.
Ooh.
All of them are Dennis.
all are Dennis.
He's wrathful. He's prideful. He has greed as fuck.
Yeah.
He's prideful. He's lustful. He's angry all the time.
But yeah, Charlie.
The only sloth is Danny DeVito.
Right.
Or Mac.
Yeah.
Probably Mac when he got fat.
Oh, yeah, this is where we find out something weird about Mac. He's pro-life.
Oh, yeah.
But like in a weird way.
Yes.
They kind of paint Mac as like this super fucking right-wing, crazy person. Yeah, exactly.
A right-wing dummy.
Yeah, because also they're very good at setting up the A and B plot points almost at the exact same time. How sometimes like Family Guy, they'll start with like one plot and then immediately disband it, go to the new plot, and then in the middle of that plot, maybe the B plot will start. And that kind of shit.
Exactly. And starts in with Charlie going like, I want an abortion, but Mac's like, you can't have an abortion. And then a story follows after that.
Yeah, immediately he just walks in. He's like, I'm getting one. He's like, you can't. He's like, I can't, apparently. It's like, oh.
Meanwhile, the kid was like basically young fucking Mac.
Oh my God, yes. But yeah, so like you were saying though, so with Mac being very pro-choice, I mean pro-life.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like you said, he just went on this random Jesus rant, which is something they've kind of brought up in his character a few more times throughout the series. And I thought it was pretty smart for them to continue to wrap it in, because spoilers for anyone that hasn't watched the series all the way through. It's been joked enough probably by like season 2, but it's like he does finally come out as gay.
Yeah.
And
which is hilarious because he's married to Sweet D.
Yes. But what I love about it is his character eventually comes out as gay, but one of the things he holds on to for so long on later seasons when they try pulling it out of him to, admit that he's gay is, no, I'm a Christian. I'm a God-fearing Christian. I'm one of God's soldiers. I can't be gay. For the fact that even in episode 2, they're already wrapping in that there's a weird Jesus freak side of this kid.
That can break. Yeah, I love how that he points that out. How Christianity goes out the fucking window when he knocks that girl up.
Yep.
He's like, you're gonna have to get rid of that.
That's the thing too. Is like we talk about him how he comes out as gay or whatever, but on this episode, he's joining the cause or whatever for pro-life just to get laid.
Yeah, but he's also doing his bro Dennis a favor. Like, dude, you got to come over to the side. The bitches are willing to do anything.
Well, because they've almost got like a bet going on. It's like, who can bag more chicks on the pro-life side or the pro-choice side?
Right.
And it's like, God damn.
Meanwhile, Dennis is going walking into it like challenge accepted.
I know. Yeah, and not as much happens on this one. It's more or less just the asinine craziness of the situation just continuing to play out on their side.
I don't think Dennis, like throughout the show, doesn't realize like his scenario that he's in, like his outer habitat. Really, he doesn't understand that he can't cross this one line or this one area, because remember, he tries to hop the fence.
Yeah,
and they're like, they're coming over the fence, kill them all. It's like, holy shit, you started a fucking riot.
Yeah, and really on their side of the plot, the only other thing that really happens is Mac winds up banging that one pro-lifer, and then the next day she's like, I'm pregnant,
and he falls for it
immediately. It's just like, you gotta get an abortion.
Yeah.
And I watched that even the very first time, because again, you don't understand necessarily how much time has passed in a TV show. Sometimes it can be a little later. But as soon as she fucking went, we had sex yesterday, you idiot, I'm like, what the fuck?
That's just one of those things. It's a good Mac episode. It's supposed to be a Charlie episode, but it's a pretty good Mac episode too.
The good payoff for Charlie's side of the story, which was, so he meets up with the kid. He's an absolute tyrant. Spoiler alert, it winds up really not being his kid. He finds that out about midway through the episode.
Yeah, he's the waitress again.
Yeah. She's like, oh, I didn't know you had a kid. He's like, oh, I'm not. I'm in the Big Brother program.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, I am too. And she's like, oh, great.
We'll meet at the park.
Yeah. So they try meeting up at the park. He's trying to hold it together for so long, and of course it all just fucking blows up in his face.
Dennis.
Yes.
Dennis gets the kid wild ass drunk.
It's funny because Charlie's kind of like Charlie Brown too.
And he's like yelling at the kid in the alleyway. He's like, you gotta hold your shit together, man. I don't know why you're drinking, but you gotta hold your shit together.
That's pretty good, Charlie.
And my favorite bit, the payoff for me, is when Charlie goes and confronts the real dad. Yeah. And the real dad is acting just like that little motherfucker, kid. Just like mimicking him. He's like, you're gonna stop it.
It's like, oh, this is what you're gonna do? Oh, this is what you're gonna do?
He should have kicked the shit out of that dude.
Seeing Charlie get upset is probably one of the favorite tropes that they carry on through all this, because he has patience, and that's what's so great about him. He can take so many things just punching him, because you see him under stress a lot, and he's yelling, but if you pay attention to his movements, he's very calculated. He's like, but he's like purposely grabbing things and fixing it, this, that, and the other. Very rarely do you see him just lose it. And those are the moments in which I fucking love.
My favorite Charlie moments are when he thinks he has something over one of the other guys.
Yes.
Like, I know something you don't know.
Shut the fuck up, Charlie.
Then we go from abortion to
underage drinking.
Underage drinking.
With episode 3, underage drinking, a national concern, in which Mac decides to make Patty's Pub a safe haven for underage drinkers, and it becomes high school all over again as Dee, Dennis, and Charlie get asked to the prom.
This is so fucked up. We go from
really
episode
is.
1 with a gay bar to episode 3 where they're
And
serving teenagers.
I would say a little sprinkle of statutory rape.
Yeah, just a little sprinkle.
Like salt on your eggs.
Just enough for 2005 that wouldn't get too messed up.
No, it was statutory rape threatened by the teenagers.
Oh, yeah. And that's the interesting thing. They kind of flip the script. A lot of times, like in those kind of real kind of shows, it's, the older one kind of threatening the younger and they're feeling it. No, it's the younger ones threatening the fucking older ones, being like, if you don't.
Well, like, I will say Dennis calls it right in the beginning of the episode.
Of course.
When the high schoolers are drinking, that girl walks up to him. He's like, how old are you?
Yep,
Because
immediately.
he has a standard, even though he is a monster.
He's a monster. He's had to hone in that standard so he can just immediately go in. He has to know from a distance.
Yeah.
He has to be able to call that age from a distance.
Oh, he's a
So no,
predator.
he's honed it in.
Like a predator.
Oh, yeah, I'm giggling, not as in like good for him, but being like, if you're gonna be a predator, at least make sure you're going for 18 plus. In this show, it's a fucked up kind of moral standard, but it's at least what he's doing.
You're gonna get fucked by a gay guy. Beat you like Charlie.
How that ass feel?
Whack.
Wham! And then the other guy comes out the bathroom. It's like, holy shit.
But then they start bonding with the high school students. And I love Charlie's plot of this because he's like coming at it from like a best friend, like he's part of the group.
Charlie
Well,
genuinely
he about hooks
thinks-
up with that girl because he listens to all her fucking problems.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, Charlie's the one that's gonna be the victim. I knew, like when I first watched the episode, I foreshadowed what was going to happen.
Yeah.
The two kids are going to get hooked back together because of these two fucking idiots. But Charlie was going to be left holding the bag because he's going to accidentally fuck a 16-year-old.
And then Dee falls in love with like the star football player, the quarterback.
Oh God, yes. Actually, I think Dee's plot point in all of it, and this was my favorite because she gets it handed to her again. She has her chance to go to the prom, but before there's even a chance for her heart to be broken at the prom, she fucks it all up, gets drunk beforehand, is already being sloshed, and I'm like, you dumb bitch.
I think it's the first episode where we really
That's
get a
why her
little
name's
bit
Sweet
of
D, dumb bitch.
I think it's the first episode where we really get an understanding of Dee's character too. It's like because her
But she's
high
a female
school,
dentist.
She's a female dentist, but Dennis was the popular kid in high school, and Dee had the back brace and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, the back brace, I think, and hell, I think they've like added onto the lore. I think she had like that big ass like head retainer at some point.
Yeah. It's like she keeps getting shit on. I think she gets shit on more on this series than anybody else.
And
But she's still a piece of shit character.
anything else really on this one? Because outside of that, it was really just a whole bunch of teenage drama.
They all get asked to the prom except Mac. And Mac gets pissed.
yes. Thank you. That's a good point. Yes, Mac cannot figure out why the fuck he didn't get asked to prom, and it's eating him up. But then again, you take a step back. He's upset that he didn't get asked to prom by a bunch of like 17, 18, 19-year-olds.
And he's sitting there going like, I'm going to crash the prom.
Oh yeah, and decides to like go stag. And they're like, you can't go stag to prom.
It's like with Mac and Dennis, they're both trying to be the alpha males of the group, and they both just fail at it every time. And that's so fun to watch.
And and then of course they're just left with their fucking dicks in their hands and fucking beer and fucking...
Spoiler alert, it doesn't work out for anybody. It's a bunch of adults who went to the prom. What could possibly go wrong?
It's always dark and cloudy and sunny.
Wait a minute, but the button to it is Charlie actually did go to the real prom.
Yeah.
That's what it was. He went to
Yeah,
the
they
real
went
prom,
to
and then he passed off the date to one of the younger guys. He's just kind of standing there. He's like smiling. He's like wipes away the tear kind of thing.
It all falls apart in Patty's, that's right.
Yeah, and Patty's it all falls apart. But at the actual prom that Charlie went to, everything was like, because he was like, Well, I don't know what y'all's problem is. I'm still going to the prom.
He was still in the group.
Yeah, he's like, I'm still in. I'm good. I'm going.
A full-grown adult just has, finds comfort just hanging with teenagers. He's a trapped little boy.
And then, honestly, the next episode, if I love every one of these. I think all 7 of these are probably at least a 5 out of 5. But if I had to pick a least favorite, this is probably my least favorite, which is Charlie Gets Cancer.
I love this episode.
The only reason it might be the least favorite of the season is there's a bunch of good jokes, there's a bunch of good lead-in, but it ends just with essentially, I was lying. And everyone's like, well, fuck you, Charlie. And then it's like the end.
Yeah,
so it's like, it didn't really feel like there was enough of like the explosion at the end for like how much build up there was.
The Mac plot was way better, I thought. That's when he first hooks up with the gorgeous transsexual.
Yes.
Christy Daniel or something?
Something like that. They call her
Brittany Daniels.
They just call her the tranny on the show, which, again, 2005.
No, that's what he plays her, I think. Yeah, Brittany Daniel.
Brittany Daniel, that's her name.
And
Because
honestly,
he keeps looking down all the time.
I know, and they just give her like this big, piece inside her shorts. Just kind of really, add to it.
well, the thing is that I'm surprised on is like even in 2005, like Tranny was a little something that most people didn't even kind of go with on TV anymore.
This is one of those episodes that's aged well because of how Charlie and Dee and Dennis feel about that. Oh yeah, it looks great.
Their actions for it. Yeah, their actions are fantastic. And just I was surprised that even
they
for
have
the
the moral
time.
high ground.
Yeah. And Max fight,
and that's not good.
And that's when Max, the whole time he's fighting. She's really gorgeous, but she's transsexual. Am I? Is this? What side of the fence am I on? He's fighting that the whole time too.
And the whole time he's saying, "I'm planting seeds until she has the surgery." And I'm just like, you piece of shit.
Oh God, I'm planting seeds. Yeah. Oh God.
But that's the highlight of that episode. Really, that Max story.
Yeah, that's fucking hilarious. But like, I love how they try to do all this shit for Charlie and they fuck it up.
Yeah.
Because they go to the waitress's house. She's like, can we get our money back? She just slams the fucking door. And they're like, are we going to break you in?
Oh, yeah, because they pay the waitress to sleep with Charlie.
She doesn't.
It does not sleep with her. Because they were like, we paid the waitress to sleep with you. He's like, what? We didn't sleep together. They're like, oh, fuck that.
Get our goddamn money back.
We gave you fucking money, not date money.
Well, she ends up draining fucking Charlie's bank account. Because she's just as evil as these motherfuckers.
Mm-hmm. That's the thing about the show. Everybody's a piece of shit. Even like if somebody shows up for like just an episode, you find out that they're all pieces of shit too. Like the lawyer.
Mm-hmm. The lawyer, the mom.
Yeah.
The lawyer winds up becoming one of my favorite reoccurring side characters.
Mine too.
Mainly because he is very smart and he almost gets it over on them. Like by the books, almost gets over on them multiple times. But by the skin of their teeth, the gang always wins. And that's why I always love that character, is he is the one formidable opponent they have. If he let loose of his morals just a little bit more, he could probably take the gang down. Yeah. But he cannot let loose of his morals like the gang has. So he will always be just that 1 millimeter off. So yeah, my favorite little side character.
I can't wait to get to those episodes.
But after that, we have episode 5, which is Gun Fever.
Yeah.
Guns solve all your problems.
Yes.
They're just tackling all of the issues in one season.
I love this one because, like, one thing happens and they're like, we got to get a gun. And it's like, the gang gets a gun.
And that's literally the episode.
They even argue about it. They even argue, like, oh, no, we shouldn't, this and that. And then who is it that tells them to get a gun? Sweet D's boyfriend. The bald guy who's robbing all the goddamn bars.
Right. Okay, well, let's jump to the end real quick because I am kind of curious on that. It seemed like in the episode, Charlie was the one stealing the money.
That's what I thought, too.
And then at the very end,
you find out it's old boy.
I'm thinking old boy did it only that time.
I think he did it both times.
But didn't we get confirmation that Charlie did it the first time that caused the suspicion? I thought Charlie did it, and then they kind of they were trying to pin it on that guy, so that's when they went to that thing being like, oh yeah, no, we didn't even bother locking it up. We just wanted to come out here. No one ever breaks into the bar. We just leave all the cash in there. Yeah. I think at that moment is the first time he robbed the place.
Yeah. I don't know. I think because I remember they accidentally shoot Charlie. They accidentally shoot Charlie, and they assume he's been stealing, but he hadn't been stealing.
See, I thought he admitted it at that point. Like, yeah, it was me.
Yeah, I think my favorite part of this episode is when they actually get the gun, and then Mac and Dennis are like trying to, look badass with it, trying to do like tricks and shit like that.
Oh yeah, anytime you get idiot characters and they have a brand new shiny gun and they want to show off with it, it's ripe for comedy humor.
This episode's great because it is the gun debate, all in one episode. Idiots that have no business with one, getting the gun for good reasons, and then fucking it up, but also
on the yellow brick road.
Exactly.
I will say, like, as someone who is a gun owner, like, there are so many reasons to own a gun: self-defense, the protection of property. But at the end of the day, man, shooting a fucking gun is just awesome. I'm sorry, like I don't give a fuck if whoever says, "Oh, I just got to go for protection." Bullshit.
Yeah,
at the end of the day, it's so cathartic to fucking throw a piece of metal at 2,800 feet per second. Like, it's fun to just pop off a round and watch it destroy something. Yeah. It's fun as fuck. That's why I have 3 of them. Okay? Fuck. That's why I used to shoot for my school, like in my shooter's team.
Yeah.
It's fun.
I was going to say, thank you for that clarification.
Oh, yeah. So in the South, kids can bring guns to school for a team thing.
Yeah, I was going to say, that we have listeners all over. That is a South thing. Yeah. You were not one of those kids.
Go Balls.
Go Balls.
But no, man, it's just like, it's not just, it's an American thing, but I'm also for, like, safe permitting and licensing and everything. But I don't give a fuck what anybody says. At the end of the day, I love popping off a few fucking rounds. Like, it's fun.
No, there's nothing wrong with
that.
that.
No, I ain't arguing with that at all.
I love watching, like, the whole, like, anti-gun scene. And, like, some of these people popping off rounds. Like, I saw one woman, she shot a gun for the first time and she started crying. I'm just like, what the fuck?
She just had too much of an adrenaline rush. She wasn't expecting it.
No, she was upset that she had fired a gun because she was so anti-gun.
Oh my god! No, I've seen some people that have like fired it and like their adrenaline is pumping so much that they're kind of shaky and just like like that. But that's about it.
But like, it's so much fun to pop for a few off rounds, and I can understand like that is it's a comedy bit, looking cool with a gun.
Yeah. That's
the one part I kind of got far from. Like,
but they didn't look cool with the gun.
They did. They look like idiots.
Exactly.
They're basically the anti-gun like poster child.
Yeah,
right.
Like, these idiots shouldn't own a weapon.
But that's kind of the point of that one.
Oh yeah, totally. And I think that's what's so great about it. But I do like how, again, it is kind of flipped. Like, they wind up shooting Charlie with the gun that they got and all everything else. It's great.
Even the whole thing, it shows like not understanding the responsibility of owning a gun is just as dangerous as owning a gun.
Yeah,
because they're fumbling with that fucking thing when they're behind the pool table. They're like, "Fuck, give me the thing." You fucking with the slide and everything. It's like, all right, boom, shoot someone in the dark. It's like, that's the last thing you fucking do is shoot in the dark.
Yeah.
Well, is this thing loaded? Of course it's loaded.
Give a toy without batteries.
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 I can't wait to get my nieces guns.
All right, well then after that, episode 6, we got the gang finds a dead guy,
which turns out to be Dee and Dennis's grandfather, who is a Nazi.
Yeah.
Again, all of the issues in this season.
No, that's the guy that was in the hospital.
I thought it was
because Dee is scared of visiting people in the hospital.
That's right.
It says when they find a old dead man in Patty's Mac and Dennis vie for his attractive granddaughter's attention. Charlie discovers that Dennis and Dee's anti-Semitic grandfather was a Nazi.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the guy dies in the bar. They're trying to deal with that. Dee doesn't want to deal with the grandfather, so they send Charlie in his place, and they're like, "Oh, you're Dennis." He's like, yeah, I'm Dennis. And he's like, "I need you to go get something from my attic."
Oh my god, I forgot about this.
I just have one request. Bury me in my military uniform.
Yeah, that's what it was.
It's in my storage unit. And Charlie just picks this goddamn thing up. And for clarification, it is not just a Nazi uniform. It is a SS uniform, rank and file. So this is the Death's Head division of the Nazis. These were not war fighters. These were people who snatched people out of their homes and murdered them.
These were devils.
These were murderers. These were not soldiers. These were murderers.
Yes.
And if you look at the costume, like real clear, it's got 2 diamonds on the collar. We don't use that anymore. But 2 black diamonds means a high fucking rank.
Oh shit! So he was high rank.
So like he owned a concentration camp.
But my favorite part is when Charlie...
He's wearing the fucking thing.
Well, yeah, he's wearing the thing, but he and Mac go and find all of his memorabilia, and they're like, we can make a shit ton of money off of
yeah,
this.
they try selling it to the museum or some shit.
If they just went to a gun store. If they just went to a gun show, there's plenty of fucking crazy idiots that buy that shit.
God, yeah. If they had just gone to a gun show, they could have made a couple mil.
Yeah, like I remember going to a gun show back in like 2003 at the Charlotte Expo down here on Sunset, and oh my god, it had all these good old boys selling guns and shit. And there was always that one guy who's like, "Oh yeah, I sell historical items and
historical
items." He's like
items.
got a K-bar knife and a fucking the original bayonet for the AR-15.
People are into that though,
And
dude.
he's got original American uniforms, and that's cool. But like, if you look a little past the curtain, it's like, oh yeah, I got a replica of a Nazi youth knife.
Hey man,
inscribed "Kill all Jews" on it. It's like, oh, you're that guy. I'll just take my bullets and go.
Now, hey man, I'm just a fan of military history.
Yeah,
Right.
And I'm sure you don't carve swastikas into everything.
No.
You fucking loon.
And that's what the guy at the fucking mint shop says. Like, I can't do this legally or morally.
Yeah, get the fuck out of here. Because I'm pretty sure because they come off as stolen to begin with, and it's like, of course, it's fucking stolen.
We came into this possession. It's like they just wouldn't say it was. We found it in the relatives.
We pilfered goods from a war.
Yeah. And I love how anytime they're in a situation like that, Mac and Charlie are always just have their like fingers, together, going like, "So will that be cash or?"
Yeah, they always think they have the upper hand. I love it. I do love it. And so not really much more happens on that. Yeah, Dennis vying for the granddaughter's affection just winds up leading it down. Him saying he knew the old man that died at the bar like super well.
Yeah, Dennis does it well. He gets all the homeless people there.
Yeah, he like paying motherfuckers to show up.
It's like Dennis and Mac at the beginning. Their whole motivation was to get laid in the whole thing. They even say that at the beginning. It's like, we started this bar to get laid, right?
And they're like, yeah.
And that's like Dennis's MO throughout the entire series.
Yeah, anything else is why I related. No, so I like that one a whole lot. And then the final episode is it's like we've dealt with racism, gay, guns, abortion, underage drinking,
Nazis.
cancer, Nazis, gun control, just horrible human behavior by slipping in on a granddaughter after his grandfather passed away, and then and Nazis. So what's a good way to round off this season, guys? Well, we've only got one more episode.
Molestation.
Fuck it, molestation. Yeah, sure. Let's just go with that.
M-Day.
But yeah,
episode 7. Charlie got molested. The gang, when they hear the news, the former gym teacher of theirs is getting arrested for molesting his students. Charlie suddenly gets nervous. Dee and Dennis conclude that Charlie might have been one of the victims, and Mac becomes jealous because he wasn't a victim.
It's the Mr. Garrison South Park episode.
So they got a pull for this episode, which I thought was impressive. The gym teacher who supposedly molested him, is the principal from Saved by the Bell.
Oh wow! See, I didn't know that.
Yes, and when I saw him, I was like, how did you get that motherfucker? I thought he was dead. Holy shit, what a pull.
Right.
And then you meet the Boyles, or the Poyle.
Yes.
The Poyle brothers are the cause of all this. And they're just so much pieces of shit who shower together.
We're just setting them up.
They're just like the most uncomfortable, awkward, gross TV characters ever.
Yeah. Yeah, and they just outright admit, they're like, yeah, we're just setting them up. We just want to get some money out of all this.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and Charlie's the one, with them. Yeah, tell him. And then the gang thinks Charlie was molested.
Yeah.
And Mac's trying to get molested.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mac is showing up to the guy's house,
short shorts.
Yes. Yeah, pulling the pool boy shit of dropping stuff and bending over.
And the principal's like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, basically.
And then near the end of the episode, he just basically straight up asks him, he's like, why didn't you molest me? He's like, I didn't molest anyone.
But I love the Boyles. I guess call it Boyles.
Yeah, that's fine.
But they admit it to Charlie, and Charlie's like, fine, I'll go with you. He's like, all right, Charlie, we're going. And there's that weird scene where he's in the back of the car and the two are driving. And it's so fucking weird just because, like, the way they shoot it. It looks like a Pulp Fiction thing.
It really does.
Yeah, and it's creepy. And then you realize, like, as you watch the show, these people are fucking animals.
Oh, yeah. They are
Did you just say you
weird.
showered together?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're saving water. No, you're not. You're wasting water with more steps. But like, and they go to the police station out, and this is what I love. Because also while this is going on, I think you meet their mom.
Yes.
Yeah. You meet Charlie's mom.
Yeah.
And they're like, hey, we think Charlie was molested. And she just fucking loses it.
And Charlie's mom is like the sweet old lady mom character.
And she is. And it's Charlie.
Yeah.
Because Charlie's the sweet boy.
Yep.
Of the great
Sweet, innocent boy.
Charlie. But no, and then they do the intervention at the end. And I think I can't remember which came first, the police station or the molestation like get together. But anyway, he goes to the police station. He's like, "All right, guys, just sit here real quick. I'll interview you first." He's like, "Okay, hey, officer, these guys are lying. They have told me so, and they want me to be coerced into telling you that someone molested me." He's like, "Okay, you're free to go."
Yeah.
Because they're there to testify, and it's just like, oh, these guys are making a false statement. And why they still exist in the show, I do not know. How they're not in prison, I do not know.
Just because they're just great foils.
Yeah.
I love my favorite bit on that though is where you were saying that how immediately quick it was. So it was like they roll up to the police station. Charlie walks in there, and you see him just kind of like pointing and doing all that shit. He like walks in. He's like, "So did you do it?" He's like, "Yeah, I read you out. You're going to jail. Fight. Bye." Like that. He's like in the middle of walking. He's just like, "I'm getting the fuck out of here. Bye."
Because he's the chaotic good.
Yes.
I do love, like, when he comes back, though, you see some other of Charlie's family members, like the little meth head in the background. He's like, "Why are you doing the intervention for me, motherfucker?"
Or the uncle that's like that legit wants to molest him.
Yeah.
Oh God, yeah. And he's like, just keeps looking at him. He's like, "Yeah, touch the doll in the,
Yes.
in the right place, Charlie.
Show me.
Yeah,
Weirdos.
keep going."
I want to say something else that happened in this. Fuck.
I love that the B characters are like so much weirder than the main characters that are already fucked up.
Oh yeah.
And the one that ends up, I will say, like, one of the Boyle brothers, both of them are great actors.
Yeah,
To
one of
begin
them's in
with.
Westworld.
Yes, the one that talks most is the one that's in Westworld.
Yeah.
And I saw him on Conan O'Brien, and he said, like, he had to explain to his dad what his character was going to be in Always Sunny. And his dad's like, "Oh, so you're just going to play yourself?" Oh! And I'm just like, holy shit.
Oh, it's hilarious.
But no, he's great in Westworld.
Yeah.
And the other guy, he plays a deputy in that show, Stand Against Evil.
I haven't watched that.
That's fucking hilarious. It's on IFC. Same people that made Whitest Kid You Know.
Oh, nice. With Trevor and all that. What's Trevor's last name? Damn it. Hang on.
But anyway, it's a funny show. It's on Hulu.
Okay.
Stand Against Evil.
I've watched more Hulu than anything.
And I
these
just like
days.
some of the, like, I will say, if you go to the IMDb page and just like look up at some of the shots,
Oh God.
like they just pick the weirdest fucking shots.
They
man.
do.
So gross.
God. Yeah, they do. They just pick the weirdest shots for these clips.
They look like they're about to eat him.
I know.
They look like they're about to eat Charlie because they're so much taller than him.
This is when you die, Charlie.
Like even this photo, random, still look weird.
I know. Yeah. Actually, instead of using just the title cards, I might just pick like those random ass weird photos as the images for these episodes.
And I will say their fucking screenshots are fucking amazing.
Oh yeah, they got great headshots.
Yeah.
Everyone's got great headshots.
Even Nate Mooney, the weird one.
Look at him with the mustache.
I know,
The
right?
porn stash, man, you got that as the deputy.
Styling and profiling.
God. I love all the B. That's the thing about the B characters. They always make again, they have to be weirder than the main characters, but that's what kind of gives them what makes them great.
Well, I mean, this has been a little bit of a shorter episode, but I feel like we've kind of covered everything we need to. We're getting back into the swing of talking about Always Sunny. Well, getting back to the swing of doing our season breakdown retrospectives.
First, thoughts overall on it.
Thoughts overall, a strong as fuck opening season.
I agree. I think it sets everybody up really well, and you know everybody's MO by the end of the season.
Oh, absolutely.
Because it's like it's like Seinfeld, where it's not really about anything. just the day-to-day lives of 4 in this season, 5 when Danny DeVito comes on in season 2. Just 5 pieces of shit in Philadelphia getting into shenanigans. Much like Seinfeld.
Yeah, no, and this is kind of like just the it's almost like the negative world of Seinfeld, or like the alternate universe Seinfeld.
Yeah, just kind of, except everybody, it just kind of paints a picture of Philadelphia that is not flattering either.
No, I wonder how Philadelphia as a whole feels about it.
Yeah, any listeners in Philadelphia, feel free to chime in and let us know.
I didn't realize Dennis was born in Japan.
No shit.
It's weird. Weird stuff you found out about these people.
I know, right?
Charlie Day's a cannibal.
See, if Dennis is Ted Bundy and Charlie is the Green River Killer, what does that make Mac and D?
D is Eileen Wuornos through and through.
Yeah, as obvious as that is,
I'm
that's
gonna have
true.
a normal life. Sweet D becomes a hooker in Florida.
See, it works.
Sweet D becomes a killer hooker in Florida.
What does that make Mac then?
Oh man, the victim.
The victim.
Oh my god, it's fucking.
Mac is the Christian schoolboy that went to camp and never came back.
There's always that story.
Well, for this episode of the Couch Potatoes, I've been Alex.
This is Cap.
And Chris, do you have any sort of final thoughts for us?
As like a far out look from it, if you take the characteristics of all 4 of these motherfuckers, they would make the best like D&D group. In my mind, like I'm just thinking about it, like
Yeah.
all, like it's just a D&D fucking style of fighting right up there with like the Golden Girls.